Hey guys, I hope you really like this new format of video I'm experimenting with. It all started from the question, what if the first purpose of stand-up was not to be funny, but to be wise, while still retaining some elements of stand-up? So leave the comments down below if you like it or not. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Enjoy. So let me tell you a story that completely redefined the way I look at success. I've been living in the Philippines for a while, and at some point I go down my condo to grab some water. And I see a young mother sitting down on the corner of the street. She's dirty, tattered clothes, and she's carrying a child. The child is also dirty, tattered clothes. And she's doing this, waiting for some coins. Now at that point, I didn't give any. Because if you've lived in the Philippines, you would know that tricks like these are actually used to rip you off. Yeah. It's like you give to one person and suddenly it's a flash mob of beggars coming out of nowhere. Like, where did they come from? It's like you feed a pigeon and all of a sudden it's birds from Alfred Hitchcock out there. So I didn't give any. I kept doing my thing. Now a few days afterwards, it happened again. I go down, get some water, and I see the same mother, same kid, same spot, except the kid is a bit thinner this time. I didn't really pay attention to that. I go and do my thing. You gotta maintain some self-coherence, right? There's this stingy philosopher inside of me going like, don't break, don't break. You didn't give the first time, shall not give this time. So I just go and do my thing. And yet it happened again. I go down, get some water, and I see the same mother, same kid, except the kid is thinner. And then again and again and again. And each time I go down to get water, I see the same mother, same kid, except the kid is thinner and thinner to the point is visibly sick. Bones protruding, not a good sight. So it must have been the fifth or sixth time when I start to be really uncomfortable. I still don't give anything because I'm really attached to my self-coherence. But I'm really uncomfortable. My stingy philosopher inside of me is still going like, don't break, don't break. But my brain is like, dude, it's 2 coins. It's not your life savings. You see, all these excuses, if you give to one person, all the others will come. If you give to one person, you incentivize all the people of the Philippines to rely on foreign money. All these excuses start to fall, and I see them chipping at my ego bit by bit. My ego shrinking. So at some point, I'm in the comfort of my house in Manila, and I'm thinking, all right, next time I see that young mother, I will give her some coins. Fuck my self-coherence. Fuck that barefooted, stingy philosopher. Get some sandals. So the day after, I go down bringing some coins with me, eager to give that young mother, except when I see her, the kid is gone. The kid is not there anymore. He's vanished. Now, I don't know what happened to that kid. I hope he's still alive and well. Though probably not. But what I want to tell you about is what happened to my brain after that. When I realized that the kid was missing, my brain switched. I had an awakening. I realized that until that point, I had been considering the mother in the story, not the kid. You see, I had been blaming the mother for not having worked hard enough. That's why I gave in to the stingy philosopher. You see, the stingy philosopher still had a point. If only she worked harder. I had been blaming the mother for not having changed her hopeful life circumstances. But the truth is, if you consider the kid in that story, the reality is that that kid had absolutely no choice of whether he would survive or not. He had absolutely no choice of whether he would be raised as a beggar or not. He had absolutely no choice of anything. In fact, he was 100% subject to those awful life circumstances. No matter how many white, entitled Caucasian excuses I could give to persuade myself that that situation could have changed, if only she worked harder. From the point of view of the kid, there was absolutely nothing to do in that short time when something could have been done before it's too late. So sometimes when we're not faced with such scenarios, we don't realize how many people around the world are more like in the position of the kid in that story rather than in the position of the mother, metaphorically speaking. So I want to take this scenario for a moment. I want to take this story and set it aside and compare it to another scenario we know all too well, especially on the socials nowadays, which is the scenario of success narratives. Success narratives are all about greatness. The TV star tells you to pursue great dreams and ignore naysayers. The ultra athlete tells you to endure great hardships and keep hammering, keep going. The countless commentators telling you to lay another brick to build that success wall. The productivity talk on the socials. How much more can I accomplish before noon? Right? It seems like everybody is under this collective spell to accumulate badges for the Ego Olympics. How many badges can I accumulate? These are the messages we see on YouTube. These talks with the motivational music in the background. Now, what all these messages actually mean is, for me, insert celebrity name of choice, for me, under my unbelievably unique set of circumstances, I went through hardships and sorrows, and I fell down and stood up, and eventually for me, it worked for me. Now, what we hear instead is, forget the for me part, what we hear instead is, so greatness is possible and desirable for everybody. Might as well try. So what we do is we try to implement those strategies advised by the celebrities with even more rigor. We work harder, connect with more people, learn an extra language on Duolingo, read 15 summaries of books per day, micro-learning, public speaking, be the smartest person in the room, except that doesn't work for many of us. In that short time, when something could have been done before it was too late. That's a metaphor of life if you didn't get it. Maybe we encounter a fallen tree on the road. Oops, I've got a mother with dementia I need to take care of. Would have achieved much more if it wasn't for her, right? The one time I leave her alone in the kitchen. After 12 years, I find the place on fire. Right? Oops, I burned out. I have very intense headaches whenever I sit in front of my laptop. Would have achieved much more if it wasn't for her, right? Oops, I've got the big C. Who knows? All these are true stories, and we're even more miserable. We're even more confused. We ask, how is it not working? Well, it's not working because these ego-inflated stories of greatness are advised by the outliers. By those few that for great happenstance of luck, managed to not get burned out in the process and not find fallen trees on the road that were too high for them to jump. And I think, of course, that must be working for everybody. If only they stop being couch potatoes. If only they work harder. And I think, of course, if you find a fallen tree on your road that you cannot jump, it's because you didn't jump high enough. They don't realize that a tree that you can jump because you're tall, somebody else cannot jump because they're shorter. I hope you see through the metaphor here. Yes, of course, hard work is part of the story, but success is like a cake. Hard work is the ingredients. Circumstances are the oven. If you don't have the oven, where are you going? You're just mixing up ingredients, right? So let's clear that confusion. Yes, I'm going to admit that greatness is the answer for some of us. Some of us will achieve greatness, and they're destined to do that. But for some of us, the answer is not greatness. For some of us, the answer might just be peace. Being a bus driver or a bonsai gardener, being at peace. Managing not to spill coffee on ourselves before noon. Managing to remember keys. That's the answer for many of us. And for many of us, the answer is a skillful combination of a bit of greatness and a bit of peace in the moment, which is probably what I'm trying to achieve with this video, to be fully transparent with you. But the bottom line is greatness is not the answer for everybody. But this is not mentioned by those who promote that narrative, the narrative of greatness. Also, do we want to consider the possibility that those who promote greatness alone might be doing so because they're so simple-minded that they're content with greatness alone? Just a thought. Instead, what is the narrative of success that would enable you to do you? What is the narrative of success that would enable you to achieve your unique purpose if it wasn't about greatness? What is the narrative of success if it wasn't about the future, but if it was about the present? What is the narrative of success if it wasn't about the destination, but if it was about the process? Buddhist monk Hemin Sunim says that true happiness is grounded on peace, not excitement. Excitement is when we get ego boosted by the prospect of a future possibility of greatness. When we watch that motivational talk with the pep music in the background. Excitement is fun, but it's not sustainable. Peace, on the other hand, peace is right now, in the present, and it's sustainable. Yes, of course we need some excitement, but we can't let it control us. You see, there is an Arabic proverb saying, a man who keeps staring at the sun without losing sight of it will end up getting blinded. So yes, we need the sun, but we can't keep staring at it. Jim Carrey says, I hope everybody will achieve everything they ever wanted and become rich and famous so that they realize that is not the answer. Powerful quote. Powerful quote. Oh, but my story of greatness will inspire. Sure it will, but did you consider that your inspiration will be very short-lived once 90% of the people will try your strategy and then it won't work? Then they will be even more miserable. But I receive a lot of messages saying that I changed these people's lives. I must be inspiring more than 10% of the people. See, but did you consider all those messages that you did not receive by people who don't dare talking to you? There's a bit of selection bias at play, right? So all this is to say, before proselytizing to accumulate badges for the ego Olympics of greatness, just travel a bit, outside and inside, and witness some for those circumstances simply did not play out for that short time when something could have been done before it's too late. Just like that kid I saw vanishing in the Philippines. Thank you very much, everybody.